Another bit of great news. The Satanic Grotto is free. So for those who don't know, the members of the Kansas Satanic group, the Satanic Grotto, particularly Michael Stewart, were arrested after defending themselves against someone who was actively trying to rip shit from their hands. In fact, before I even go all over this, I want to show you the video. This is an article by Queer Satanic. I recommend checking them out. Here's the video. The guy in the white shirt is Michael Stewart.
Of darkness. Jesus Christ is King. In the presence of all the dread demons of the pit, and in this assembled company, I acknowledge and confess my...
Watch as that person actively tries to rip it from his hand. Police just stand there and do nothing. They try it again. He pushes them back in self-defense, and that's when the police jump in and attack. And they get on his ass too, like, what the fuck? He's on the ground. It's not only a pretty clear-cut case of biased policing, but it also really shows you who these types of people are. These sorts of Christian groups scream about religious freedom while actively going out of their way to attack the rights of others. In fact, here's the full story. So, in Kansas, the Satanic Grotto planned a black mass at the Kansas Capitol in response to all the religious groups that were allowed to do stuff there previously. It's a taxpayer-funded building, yet they allowed religious groups in there. So, naturally, the Satanists are a religious group and they deserve to be in there too. And then, surprisingly, the point that satanic groups like these try to make, that those who scream religious freedom the most don't really mean it, and that the government is sliding towards a Christian nationalist state, are immediately proven right, because many groups, especially Catholic ones, did everything they possibly could in their power to make sure the Black Mass didn't fucking happen. They sued the Satanic Grotto, accusing them of stealing shit, which they didn't. The Kansas governor censured the Black Mass, and in response to this, they added some provisions to who's allowed to meet at the Capitol building. Organizations and individuals will not be permitted to meet or gather when participation is limited or restricted on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, age, handicap, cultural heritage, or national origin or ancestry. Sounds good. And they eventually tell the Black Mass to take the event outside, which, no. They were given permission to do it inside. Other religious groups do it inside. They have the right to do so. So they decide, oh, fuck that. We're going to do it inside anyway. And unsurprisingly, when the event happened, Catholic groups showed up en masse to condemn it. And the violent counter-protester who tried snatching the shit from his hands would go on to be interviewed, saying, he was trying to give a satanic chant. I tried to take the paper out of his hand, and he punched me twice in the face. Which... yeah, you were actively stealing shit from him, which I would say is hypocritical given what the Catholic group had tried to accuse him of doing. It's a pretty clear case of self-defense, which is likely why the charges against the Satanic Grotto leader ended up getting dropped. And it's worth noting, Marcus Schroeder, the violent counter-protester who tried stealing that shit from his hands, has a violent record. In fact, in 2023... he was caught trying to call a bomb threat into a pride event, which again really shows you the kinds of people they are. Which, side note, I want to just show you how the Catholic Vote titled this. Satanists responsible for Kansas Capitol violence face no charges, plan a new ritual instead. Which is another bit of good news from all this, because they're not backing down. They're planning a new ritual to eventually host, which is really awesome. Because that's the thing. These groups aren't out for religious freedom, as you can obviously fucking tell. These groups are out to silence us. To say, we don't deserve to exist. All these religious groups, and even sadly some atheists, see what the Satanic Grotto was doing as, oh, just petty political bullshit. It's not political for us to fucking exist. Because that's what this whole thing is. It's Satanists exercising a right that Christians and Catholics have been able to exercise for decades. And their response to engaging in the same practice that Christians have been engaging in for so long is violence bomb threats, and a continuous attack on the rights of others. What the Satanists were doing weren't suppressing anyone's rights. Again, they were engaging in an act that several other religious groups have been able to engage in before them. And suddenly when the Satanists do it, it's a problem. There is nothing political about existing and exercising the rights that Christians have been able to exercise for so fucking long. This battle is way more important than a lot of people realize. Because Christian nationalism is a bigger threat to this country than ever. White evangelicals have been the majority of this country for so long, and because of that, they never had to worry about other groups existing or exercising the same rights as they do. But now, things are different. There's way more groups of people, and of course, because there's way more groups of people, many more people want to use the exact same Capitol grounds as the Christians have been able to use for so long. And that has caused all these Christian groups to panic, because now they're not the majority. And as these minority groups grow in size, they're much harder to suppress. So now they have to fight and do everything they possibly can to erase those people from existence. It's why they're forcing the 10 Commandments into schools and the Capitol buildings. It's why they're trying to restrict the rights of other religious groups from participating in the same practices. It's why they're constantly trying to push proclamations that this is the kingdom of God. It's because they're actively trying to reestablish their superiority. What they used to be able to do with just being the majority is now no longer possible. These groups are losing their power and losing their influence. And so now they gotta infiltrate what was always a secular government and try to bend it to their will. So we need to stop this. What you need to do is to get involved. If you're a Satanist who doesn't really participate in politics, you need to. Now more than ever. Because shit is only going to get worse. We can fight them. It's possible. But we all need to do it together. And if you're not a Satanist, you should still participate. You don't have to participate in a Satanist march, but you should participate in secular politics in general, making sure that separation of church and state is maintained. Because this is more dangerous to you than you realize. Even if you're a Christian, they're still coming after you. Because these groups want their version of Christianity to be maintained. They've lambasted progressive Christians and other groups of Christianity for the longest time too. So what we need to do is we all need to band together to keep this nation secular and to make sure that the rights of everybody are maintained. Whether or not you're in an oppressed group, participate. Because once they start coming after you, because if you don't protect the rights of others, once they're gone, there's going to be no one else to protect you. It is not political for you to fucking exist. These groups are more motivated to suppress you and to suppress the rights of others than many are to maintain them. While you might be focused on this issue now, or may have been focused on this issue for the last couple weeks, they were focused on it years ago, and they're going to be focused on this years after. So you need to work harder. You and everyone else need to work harder to maintain your rights and the rights of others than they are about stripping your rights. When we work together, we are far more powerful than they are. We can fucking do this. Hail Satan, hail you, hail myself, and hail the Satanic Grotto.